So, test. Gotta see how loud I have to talk.
Hi, hello, welcome.
Smile like that.
It's a regular smile.
It's crystal clear, we've been over years, struggle straight along the way, but having you by my side makes everything okay. We're watching video clips of all types of shits, laughing out loud, we really hate this crowd, and we don't know where to go, hopefully take it slow. Lots of hustler minds will reject and decline our approach to life, and that, well, that's just fine. We wanna let others live because it's none of our business. We press your chest upon our mess. There's so many minds, hey, I'd like to unwind. You take me out of this place, we want a part of this race. We do what we can, you better tough out, man. You're about to pass out or get a pick for the cloud. Why is it so hard out here? They made it so weird. Try to stay woke and humble and joke. It's fucking hard out here.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching. This is It's Hard Out Here, and I'm Karina.
I'm Joel.
We thought it would be fun to talk about our Jiu-Jitsu matches, or the couple of ones that we had that were hosted by our gym. So not quite like traditional competition, but still some experience. So what was that like for you?
Well, Karina, thank you so much for asking. No, I mean, so compete. I didn't want to compete at all. I didn't give a shit about it. You were the one that wanted to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think, I mean, it's useful to get some experience in, absolutely. Because I just don't see. It's not something that I wanted to like achieve. You know, it's not like a goal of mine. Because in my mind, you know, you compete to like, I don't know, win stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like
You're not competitive.
I'm really not. I mean, I can be competitive. I don't like to be competitive, so I just wanna practice the martial art just to practice it, you know. But there is some utility in that. You get to put your skills to the test, you know. But you can do that for like with like live rolls too, and that's why. But I do like sort of the, I guess, random aspect to it. You don't know who you're gonna go up against, whereas like when you do go to open mat, you can kind of like choose the person that you want to roll with, or someone comes up to you, you know, they want to roll, it's like, okay, sure, but
You might know their skill level.
maybe, right, like, you know, like, okay, I'm gonna absolutely get destroyed, like, no doubt, or whatever. But I mean, that happens throughout competition too, so I mean, but it's overall, I'd say it's a good thing to engage in, you know, and practice for sure.
Well, they say that you learn a whole lot in competition. Like your practice sort of excels during that.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised that you were like, I'm going to do it, because you had the idea first. Like I was like, I'm going to wait, and then you were like, no, I'm going to sign up.
I wanted to test it already. I was like, yeah, let's just do it, because you go up against someone your own ranking, right? So and Crystal and John that were organizing it, they were pretty good at matching people up.
Yeah, they were really good at creating these.
Because they were like paying attention to who was at what skill level, you know, even within your belt ranking, because that doesn't really determine your skill level, absolutely, right? Because there are some like really good competitive aggressive blue belts, and then there's some just like hobbyist blue belts that are kind of like, you know, they can hang with those blue belts, but you know, they might
Or like
struggle.
what if you get like a blue belt that just became a blue belt versus like a blue belt that's on their way to like a purple belt, you know?
Or if you get like a white belt that wrestled, you know, in high school.
The D1 wrestler.
Or like they're a black belt in judo, you know.
Yeah, but they're a white belt.
They're a white belt in jiu-jitsu. It's like, so
we really appreciate the way they match make. So thank you.
that was helpful for sure. And I think the first time was scary at first. I didn't want to get hurt. That was a big part of it for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I had already gotten hurt just like doing live rolls, you know, so I was like, geez, competing, you know, and we're not competing for anything necessarily, it's just kind of like experience.
Yeah, definitely
and,
experience.
Maybe reputation, I don't know.
Maybe a little bit about that. Definitely to test your skill, and I think it also helps show your coaches where you're at too, right?
Yeah, that's helpful too, for sure. Yeah, they can see where you're at, and I guess, yeah, make those assessments that they need to for promotions or whatever. I'm not too concerned with promotions, though.
Yeah, no, I want to be a white belt forever. I want to be learning as long as possible.
I wouldn't mind that, I don't think, but yeah, I mean, I just want to be able to keep practicing, you know, for as long as I can.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already had to take off so much time for injuries, and then now I just got the ringworm for the first time. So taking time off for that too to get that all cleared up. So that sucks. I was legit depressed like the first day when I realized like, oh, this is ringworm, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have to put my membership on hold, and I don't know how long it'll be before I can go back to the gym. Even for like striking class, you know?
Yeah, you have to pause everything.
Yeah, because I don't want to spread this for sure.
Yeah, no, not at all. You're doing the right thing, and I hope everyone appreciates that.
Yeah, but how did I get it? Where are you?
Yeah, it was one of you. Probably not one of you watching, but if you're watching in the future, you might know.
Skin checks. Skin checks. Why?
Yeah, you need to do that.
Why don't people skin check? I'm just kidding. No, sometimes you don't know you have it, I guess.
Well, it may start off looking as like something else because yours started off looking like a bug bite, and you had just dealt with all those ants. We had an issue, and it looked like it could have been an ant bite.
Yeah, I got swarmed by ants. That sucked too.
Yeah,
that was a rough morning. It's hard out here.
So many ways, so many ways.
What else had happened that morning? We were doing other things, and I had to go home, and then I realized, oh, there's a ant infestation in my storage closet.
You were bringing me those boxes because we were moving.
I was going to take you, we were moving, and I was taking your boxes, and then I was like, well, and I also noticed there was a huge like water leak. There was water all over the floor in my storage unit too.
That was
like,
a day.
What the heck?
That was definitely a day.
So much. I feel like somebody should go tell him, hey, you just have to hit the little coin back button. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's not doing well.
No. But so I don't know if y'all could hear that. There was someone like banging on one of the machines. So we're recording this episode in the Washeteria, if you didn't know, because this is some of the time where we have some downtime, and we're just like, hey, we could get a little short snippet in.
Yeah, quick little episode.
Just talk about some stuff, hang out, you know, nice little filler episode.
Yeah.
What was it like for you competing for the first time?
Oh gosh, I was pumped, but I think you've mentioned this before, not on here, but that you don't like waiting around, but that's something that I really enjoyed. Like, I love that it's at the end of the day so that I can sort of prepare myself more, but I also don't like it because it's like I'm hyped up the whole day. Yeah. And I don't want to like exert all my energy or waste all of it. I don't know. And I am trying to be over prepared. Like, I am thinking about it a week in advance. Yeah. Thinking about things that I do well or that I think I do well, or paths that I might know, because everyone gives you advice. They're like, oh, you're competing? Like, that's a really big deal. Is the people that compete, they really help each other out. Well, I think the gym in general really does that, but once you start competing, they're like, oh, you're taking it super seriously, like, let's go. And so everything that everyone told me, I took in very, I don't know, closely, or I took it to heart. Yeah. I don't know things. So
you're doing great.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, so I was like really planning, and I think I'm going to be one of those kind of competitors that, like, if I know who my opponent is, I'm going to think about like what their strengths are, or maybe try to recognize the things that they do and hopefully work on that. Because I hired one of the coaches for personals for my very first one, because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea how it's going to go. And that was really, really helpful. I felt way more prepared and had a lot of things that I could go to and be prepared with. So I thought that was really great.
And you got the finish. Your first match, you got the finish.
That was
like,
nice.
That's a big deal, you know?
Yeah. It was surprising. It was really fun, though. Oh my gosh, so much fun.
It's really hard, yeah.
It was really hard.
To be able to finish on your first match, like, that's a big deal. That's a big accomplishment, you know?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, because I mean, it's hard. It's very hard. Like, my first match, I was so surprised. I was just like, oh, this dude's strong.
Yeah.
Like, dang. All right, here we go. Let's see what we can do, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but you mentioned, you know, trying to over-prepare, and I think that's what you always should do, honestly. I just don't really care too much about that, you know, just because I'm not taking it as seriously. Like, I just want to compete just to, like, test my skills, test my abilities, you know. That's the only reason why. I'm not trying to, like, win any sort of status or whatever, but I mean, I suppose you're doing the same thing, you know, and we just have like different approaches to it, really.
I do like the competition though. Like, I want to be good, but I also am very happy just doing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just like excited to learn. I'm scared to lose a lot, but I know that's just a part of it. Like, it just happens. You will have losses unless you're just some like amazing prodigy, you know, that's just killing it everywhere, literally defeats every person you go up against. But that would be cool someday, but I'm happy with whatever I do now.
It would be cool someday to be a prodigy?
No, to be that good that like you just go up against whoever and you win. Now that ship has sailed. I wasn't on that one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but if you compete with people at your level, it's always going to be, you know, hit or miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously you're gonna get good enough to where you can like kind of just sweep the floor with people that are less experienced than you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You will get to that point.
Yeah.
If you just keep going, you just keep practicing. You know, obviously, yeah. So, yeah, you'll be fine. I don't know. I do like testing it. That's really all I can say about that. I don't like that the Thursday night jiu-jitsu is like at the end of the day. Not that that matters what I think about it, but for me, like, I just, because I don't, you know, our work schedule, I go in the afternoon and then I'm there all night, and so usually I have to take the day off to do Thursday night jiu-jitsu, which I'm really grateful for it because it's free. All the competitions you have to pay for, you know, just to participate. And
amazing platform. Love it so much. It's
really good. I'm so grateful that they got that going there at that
Make
gym.
sure to check it out. It's on YouTube. 10th Planet ATX Thursday night jiu-jitsu. It's live every Thursday at like 8:30-ish. And if not, you can catch the stream afterwards because it's all up on their YouTube. It is so good. So much content. So much awesome fights. Like,
and even if you don't,
competitors.
Even if you don't train there, you're from a different school, you can go sign up. Yeah, it's all.
Every gym is
it's
allowed.
open to every gym. Yeah, that's what I really like about 10th Planet too. And a lot of like the more modern gyms, you know, they seem to be more open to like cross training and stuff like that, right? I've heard that there are some schools or academies out there that are still very strict, and it's like you only train here. You only wear our stuff. Like,
our gear. Like, don't show up in anything else.
Crazy.
I don't remember who I was talking to, but they were like, "So you're allowed to wear whatever rash guard you want at 10th Planet?" And I was like, "Yeah." Yeah, because we had our Keep Jiu-Jitsu gay ones, and they were like, "You could wear that there?" I was like, "Yeah." I mean, it's a little funny, but we're allowed to.
I know. I was worried about that one for a little bit. I'm like, I don't know how they're going to receive this, you know?
I think they were just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, they don't really care. It doesn't seem like it. Maybe if we were more serious competitors, you know, and like kind of represented the gym, you know, on a higher status or on a higher platform or something like that, like they might say something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Give us a little shit for it.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know how they feel.
I hope that at any level they would just be like, haha.
Right, because it's a joke. Too. It's funny.
A good joke.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Like,
it's a very good joke.
Craig Jones over at B Team. He's the one that like is marketing all these things. I mean, he's a troll. He just trolls the whole jiu-jitsu community, and he talks so much shit, and it's hilarious.
It is so funny. And like, I get people take it very seriously and stuff, but I guess like making things gay like this, maybe because we're a little gay, like that's why we kind of like it or okay with it.
No, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
But no, it can be somewhat disrespectful, but the implications that like, oh, what, so being gay is like a bad thing, you know, like that's the problem with it. It's like, it's not, it's just funny. because so many people still do see like homosexuality as being like a bad thing, and for whatever reason, right? And it's just like, well, it's not. So we're gonna be like, oh, keep jiu-jitsu gay.
But it's funny to poke fun at like all these dudes that are like big and buff, and they're just like rolling around with each other, and it's like, if you just wanted to be gay, like do that.
Yeah, actually, oh my gosh, so. The owner of this 10th Planet here in Austin, I don't want to say their name, but he had just posted on his Instagram, he screenshot, hello, sorry. He screenshot a comment on one of his posts or something like that, or it was a message.
Oh, I saw that.
And it said like,
it was some gay already.
Yeah, it was some guy, some random like chubby white boy who's just like, hey, just since you like rolling around on the ground with guys so much, just come out already.
I know,
something like
so
that.
random.
Yeah, it's like, all right.
Okay, guy.
Yeah, it's so funny how like people go up in arms online, with silly things.
And like as if that would be offensive. They're like, yeah, I enjoy that. What? So.
I mean, not only do you enjoy it, it's like, okay, you want to come roll around with me?
Yeah,
like,
because
I'll
you
fucking
would
kill you.
Yeah, literally, you will die.
Yeah, I can strangle you with my feet. Like, I mean, what are you talking about? Do you know what you're saying? Like,
isn't that funny that they're gonna like talk smack about that?
Yeah, it's
to
so
somebody
silly.
that's incredibly capable.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Yeah, I'm gay. Come here, let me show you how gay I am. It's like,
I'm super gay. Watch this.
It was so funny a long time ago when I had been introduced to jiu-jitsu when I was in high school because I was taking this kung fu martial art, and this guy who owned that school, he was a blue belt at the time in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and so he would do like a jiu-jitsu class on Saturday mornings, and that was it really. It was before it like really blew up, I guess. Well, I don't know, El Paso was always kind of late in getting everything, all the trends and stuff, so we were always like 4 or 5 years behind. So I mean, the UFC had already made its mark, in those days, and it was already becoming very big. But I forgot what my whole point was to this. I'd known about jiu-jitsu, and so I had a little bit of practice, very, very little. I knew very little about like positions and things like that, and so every once in a while with my friends, I would wrestle with them. Just to see, because everyone was always bigger than me, and I was able to work from my back pretty well with guys that were aggressive and like keep them off of me with my legs. I was a skateboarder because my legs were pretty strong, they were like my foundation. So I would keep them off, and I would use them, instead of like use my upper body, I would just like, use my legs, keep them off, push them off. And I already knew how to like kind of sink in a triangle, very, very like basically, not even like a good triangle at all. But I remember getting like people caught in triangles left and right, and then they'd be like freaking out and panicking, not knowing what to do, because having like no knowledge of it, what's going on. And another time I was able to like take my friend's back pretty easily, but I literally just like, I was on my back, and then like I crawled up on him and like got on his back, and like I choked him. And I was like, okay, there's a little something to this. But then like everyone got into fighting and stuff, and and that ship sailed, because then we had those fight nights that you saw that we recorded, and I went up against a dude who had a little bit of training, but he was also a wrestler in high school. Yeah, so like that fight didn't last very long. I threw like a rear snap kick, like rear, I guess a front snap kick, and he ate it. He just ate it, and then I stepped in and like followed through with it instead of like pulling back. He immediately closed the distance, tied me up, got like underhooks, and then just boop, slammed me to the ground.
Oh my gosh!
And it was like done at that point. He tried to mount. I was already aware of that, so I got him in half guard.
Nice.
And I like held on to half guard, but I did not know what to do after that because he was on top of me, and he was able to like posture up and like throw some blows.
Oh no!
He hit me once and connected really, really good, and I was just like, oh my god, that fucking hurts. Like, and I got like dazed, you know, and I just like grabbed him and pulled him in. And I just like tried to hold on to him as well as I could. And I gave him these little like rabbit punches in the face right there because I had his head right there. I was like, just trying to hold on to him. But then he like, classic, he just like white belt status Americana'd me. Like,
no way.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It was like I like really cranking my arm, and it didn't feel like it was doing anything, but I was also worried. I'm like, okay, this is like a fucked up position for my arm to be in. Like I'm gonna tap. Like I just let it go. I was like, yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get out of this. Like,
well, tap early, tap often.
I mean, no, if you see the video, he's like cranking it already. Yeah, he has it pretty deep, and I'm just like, okay. I remember someone in the audience was just like, oh, yeah. But it didn't hurt, like, because I've gotten you in those, and you know, like your shoulder flexibility. You know, it's, if we don't know how to apply it like absolutely correctly, you know, there's a lot of
you have some space.
Wiggle room there. Yeah, like I don't know, but it is dangerous also if you don't know what you're doing at the same time.
You're gonna break something.
Yeah, exactly. But those things like joints, they'll just pop at a moment's notice, and you're like done. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah, y'all are lucky that you made it out of there okay. I mean, did most of you make it out of there okay? Without getting
nobody got hurt.
No?
I don't think. I don't know how AJ's arm was after that arm bar that Julian put on him, like several times. Because looking back on it recently, I was like, oh my god, he needed a tap a lot earlier. But he was like, you know, had a lot of heart. He wanted to really give it 110%.
You should like reach out to him and be like, how's your elbow?
Nah, that dude barely even remembered me last time I saw him. So weird. Yeah, because he used to be so cool. Anyway, that's a whole different story. Anyways. No, so this guy Julian, I trained with him at the Kung Fu Academy.
Oh, wow.
But he was also a wrestler, and he had more jiu-jitsu experience. Dude, he was able to control his fights like so beautifully.
Oh, I bet
like
it was
looking
funny
back at the tapes now, I'm like, wow, he was in control the entire time. Like he wasn't even like struggling really. I was like, wow, like, you know,
I was like, this is great.
Yeah, dude, like he just like stand-up wasn't all great, and as soon as it went to the ground, he was just like, all right. He was like trying different things. I could tell now that he was like, he had several opportunities to end it, but he didn't. He was just playing with him.
Wow.
I was like, oh my god. Yeah, it was crazy.
He was working his skills.
Yeah. I was like, dang, that's awesome. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, especially about like knowing things. I mean, that's what a lot of these artists are doing, is like, they're like, I know that I can do this, but I really want to attempt to get to this. Yeah.
A lot of times, that's why someone will lose too, you know, because they're just like, well, I could have finished it here, but I'm trying to get something else. Yeah, I feel like there's people at our gym that have done that too, that I know better, and they could have finished a match or something. But like with Thursday Night Jiu-Jitsu, especially that event, you know, they're just getting practice in. It feels like
definitely.
It's not a big deal if you win or lose there. You know, it's kind of just like
it's super supportive. There's even one of the coaches that's all like, it's not this gym against this gym, it's everybody against the CIA.
B team's not the enemy, New Wave's not the enemy, the CIA is the enemy. And you know who you are if you're watching this, which I don't think you would, but it's cool if you did.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Also, can we make that a shirt? You should make that a shirt.
That would be a great shirt. A rash guard.
Yes.
That'd be a great rash guard.
Make that a rash guard. Can we make that a rash guard? Let's ask him.
Yeah, we should ask him.
We should ask him. I bet he would be so into that.
Yeah, I hadn't seen him in a long time. Until the last open mat I went to.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but he was spent, dude. He was like just laying out on the mat, you know, exhausted. And I was like, what's up, dude? Yeah. And then later that week, I saw him post. He's like, oh, definitely overtrained. Got to take some time. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Well, he was going to Oak Hill, too, and they go hard there. Well, they don't go hard, but they take it very seriously.
Yeah, I like the drills that they do at Oak Hill, you know, with the games and stuff. Those are so beneficial, for sure. It's a lot more like resistance training. But I like the structure at 10P Austin, too, because you just run the drill, you know, over and over again, and then it's up to you and your partner to decide like how hard you're gonna go, you know.
I like that we started doing that too, where you were like, hey, I'm gonna put resistance on because like we need to know what it feels like. And that's been really good, because sometimes during class we would just be like doing it and then, you know, not work up a sweat, and then sometimes you'd be like, dang, that was That was tough. We did that.
Or like wrestling classes, exhausting too. Those are fun. I remember when we first started doing them, and it was like, oh, we're going too hard. Like,
Yeah.
we need to dial it back a little bit.
Because then we had class right after that.
Yeah, and it's tiring. Wrestling, for whatever reason, it just takes so much out of you.
Well, we were doing a lot of up and down. So like you would be standing and then taking them down.
Yeah.
And then you have to get back up.
Yeah.
Take them down, get back up.
Yeah, yeah.
And then before that class even starts, you're running calisthenics. You know, you're literally running. You're doing line drills, which I really liked that. That reminded me of my track days.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, I like those movements, like the rolls, the straddle rolls, and the back roll extensions and stuff like that. That stuff's fun for me.
Oh gosh, I felt like such a goober because I was like, my body cannot do this. What is going on? Like, you are a capable being. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. You can do it. It is hard though. I understand for people that aren't like used to those types of movements.
And you did gymnastics, so you had a little bit of like, I can do this, like, and you did it.
Yeah, and then I freaking threw my back out doing a cartwheel, and that was one of the line drills. I was like, oh my god, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, that sucked. Luckily, that didn't last too long.
That
but
is so
I
good.
Definitely like pinched something, and I was like, oh.
Ooh, let's talk about the injuries we've had since being there. So we've been doing jiu-jitsu. Well, been going to 10th Planet for a little over a year.
Yeah.
And you broke your rib the very first week.
Yeah, first week went too hard during open mat. Well, it wasn't open mat. It was 5-round Fridays.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was 5-round Fridays. You remember that?
Right, we just went to class.
We just went to class thinking 6 a.m. class. Okay,
Yeah.
and then yeah, they were just like, oh yeah, we're doing just 5 rounds today. It's like, what is that? You go with a different person every
Each round,
round.
5
That's the
rounds.
whole class.
Yeah.
That's all you do. It's like, oh, okay.
And they are intense. Like, they're very
went.
serious on Friday.
Yeah. But I also feel like they probably were like putting me in check too, because I might have been a little too aggressive or something.
you?
Know, like like a stereotypical white belt or something.
Yeah.
You know.
Your only
And,
spazzy moment.
Yeah, and I learned very quickly. I'm like, okay, don't do that. I just got smashed.
Yeah, that was a great lesson, I guess.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, I don't know that I get like frustrated so much now, but in the beginning, like first time rolling with people, first several times I should say, honestly, like rolling with people live rolls, it sucks getting manhandled and getting destroyed. You just feel so helpless, and then it hurts too, and that pisses me off when it hurts and I can't do anything about it. Like, that is so frustrating, and I would get mad. I'm just like,
And then it's funny, like, that's so not helpful. You have to just keep
you have to
working.
stay calm.
Stay calm.
Yeah, and just be like, yep.
Yeah,
you
don't
got
lose
me.
your energy.
Yeah, you got me in that one. Man. That was,
Because if you get upset and then you start doing things that are not available because you're just trying to like muscle through it or be like, I'm strong enough for this, like I'm gonna get out.
and that can also cause injuries too.
Yep.
If you're just like careless and just trying to like explode through everything. Yeah. But what about your injuries? What have you had?
One of the first ones was my back. I had a herniated disc, and I think that was something that was sort of building up in my lifetime, like just something that I wasn't aware of. Like, I throw out my back every once in a while, and I think that's what it was going through that. But when it happened, that was so wild. I was just immobilized. I was like, oh no. I was scared that I wasn't going to be able to do jiu-jitsu anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, really? I just started.
Yeah.
So, we utilized Crystal, who was there with yoga. Unfortunately, that wasn't helpful. It actually made it worse, but I love yoga. I loved what she did. So we went and saw the physical therapist that was at the 10th Planet at the time, and that was amazing. Really got some answers. I had to do exercises every 2 hours to get this back in gear, and now I have to do it kind of regularly.
And and that I think is something that we should focus on too, is like, you literally had to do those exercises. You had to stay on top of it, otherwise you wouldn't have recovered as quickly, most likely, right?
And
it
I'd
would
be
just
in pain.
been prolonged. Remember when you were in so much pain you couldn't even sit down in a comfortable position?
I couldn't drive, I couldn't sit.
Yeah, and that's when we were like, okay, we need to go to see those physical therapists. And so
you got to take those injuries seriously.
Yeah, you really got to take care of them.
And you have to do what they tell you to do. Like, if they have an answer for your recovery, you have to do that. Otherwise, you're not going to recover, and you're going to be all jacked up.
Messed up, yeah. And then, I mean, my recent injury, you know, my knee had been giving me some issues since my first match when he tapped me with a outside heel hook, but it really, the pressure was on my knee, right? And so since then, it hasn't quite been the same.
Yeah.
And, you know, I continue just exercising, running, and it feels better some days, but then, you know, I got heel hooked again. You know, this last match, and there wasn't as much pressure on my knee that time. It was more my ankle, and I thought it'd be okay, but like, yeah, my knee still took a pounding, and I was like, okay, I think I might need to take some time off again or something, but I don't know. But I asked one of the coaches, I was like, hey, what do you think about like minor injuries? You know, it's not like it's not completely preventing me from like rolling or practicing, but it's still there. And he was just like, take care of it.
Yeah. Don't train.
Yeah, he's like, take it easy. You don't have to stop exercising, but take care of it. Otherwise, it's just going to keep getting worse. And I'm like, okay. So I took that advice, and then I got ringworm, and I was like, okay, now I really can't go train.
We were talking about that earlier. I was like, isn't that funny that just before that, he was all like, take time off, and you're like, yeah, I have to. I have no choice.
But and then he was like, you know, I even take time off. Like you can't ignore those injuries. They're just going to keep getting worse, and they're going to prevent you, you know,
from actually doing it, from
progressing.
Long as you want.
And longevity. You know, you're not going to be able to do it as long. So, it is a overall just beneficial practice in so many different ways, right? I mean, discipline is one of the main things you get from it. You learn how to like prioritize stuff and organize your life, you know, around it. And people become so obsessed with it. It's crazy. It becomes life.
I wish it was all I could do.
Jiu-Jitsu is life, I
just want to be there all the time. Like, I love that there are some people that are literally there all the time. But I also don't want to get hurt, so I know that, like, I have to be mindful of what I'm doing. I don't want to stop. I see this as, like, a lifelong thing.
Yeah, if you can make a career out of it in in any kind of way, it doesn't. You don't have to be a competitor. You can help out at the gym, or the problem is, you know, you have to make a living wage. That's the problem.
Part, like, am I going to be able to work, make a living, and do that like in jiu-jitsu? I would love to find a way, and I am in awe of all the people that have done that, that are
it's amazing.
Making that exactly what they want. And that's another thing people say is like, if that's what you want, then you need to go for it. It's like,
but that's the thing. That's part of like why we wanted to talk about these things, right? It's like, okay, you have to go for it, but like, you have kids. You have to make sure that they're provided for, you know, and that rent is expensive out here, you know, and like, if we moved in together, you and I, we'd be a lot more financially stable, but there's the whole dynamic with the kids, you know, like we introduced me what we both agree on to be too fast. We moved way too quickly with that, and we ran into like
serious
traumatic
walls.
Experiences, you know. It's like, okay, maybe
let's calm down.
We're not ready for this. The kids aren't ready for this. I'm not ready for this, you know. We had expectations, and they just were not met at all. We had unexpected things happen, you know. And so that's been a whole learning process too. It's like, okay, I realized there's a certain way that I need to approach this now to where it's comfortable for everybody. And hopefully by doing that, it'll be easier for the kids to get used to the idea of like, hey, we're gonna be like a unit now. We're gonna be a thing. And it'd be great if we can all just get along and we like live a happy life, you know, because really,
that's a whole thing in itself. Like, so much to talk about there.
Yeah, because they're not used to that, right? I mean, you coming from the abusive relationship and like their dad just even abusing them, they don't know what to expect. They're kind of on edge, and they're nervous. They act a certain way because that's how they're used to acting with their dad, right? And then when it's like with me, I'm like, hey, we don't do that. We're not gonna do that. We can't do that. And then I'll tell you why, because it's not healthy. It's not good. You're stressed out. I'm stressed out. Like, we don't need to be stressed out. we can all be.
We can chill. It'll be good.
Calm.
Don't worry.
Yeah, like tell me what you want and I'll see if we can make something work out. You know, if not, I'm sorry, that's life. Here's a lesson, you know, like, hey, you don't have to be so pissed off about it, you know, like.
Well, and like we got them into jiu-jitsu, so like they're kind of like realizing that kind of stuff with like, this is tough, and you're doing it, and you're gonna get through it, and we're here to support you as well. Like we're all doing it.
That's the thing I think their dad did not give them is support at all. He would just like talk down to them and be like, I know all the answers. I'm right. You're wrong. End of story.
Yeah.
Like that's
completely.
it.
Spot on.
And then he would like fight. Like I was there one time when he just like him and your son were just arguing with each other for like an hour straight, yelling. And I was like so surprised. Like I was like, they don't even care that I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's a
Obviously.
boy.
Yeah, no.
He doesn't know any better. He's learning the world.
I was really surprised that my ex was doing that. I was like,
he was the one that surprised me. I was like, you're a grown human being, and you don't care that I'm a new person in this like whole situation, and you're just acting out like this.
Yeah.
I was like,
Well,
no
because he
shame.
thought he was right, you know, like he thought that he was doing the right thing.
And despite that, it's a child. Why are you arguing with a child, dude? You're supposed to be an adult. You're supposed to be the bigger person. Like,
I don't know if he has that like ability to, I don't know, because he just thought he was, well, I'm the authority, so I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
so strange.
Yeah.
Blows my mind. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. That day was really surprising.
Yeah.
Because he's always very much like keeping up appearances.
Right.
So I was like, he's just not even caring at all that you're here and saying all this stuff. So
I think once he got a sense of like what kind of person I was, he wasn't threatened by me.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was just like, yeah, you seem cool, because we like shook hands, we talked about it, some things, you know.
Gosh.
He's like, you know, you don't seem like you have any malicious intentions or whatever, and you know, we shook hands. I'm like, yeah, no, of course I don't, dude. Like I'm just here, you know, trying to, I don't know, be with your wife. That is weird when I think about it. But I mean, you guys had already had like understandings, you know, that's like you guys aren't together anymore. Like it's over.
I think he still was probably like
A little bit.
yeah, she's that's your like side deal. Or he probably thought we were more like business partners because we were doing like OnlyFans stuff.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, whatever, you know, there's a lot there to talk about too. So.
So much.
But jiu-jitsu has been great.
It's been fantastic. I love the way you brought it to me though, because I didn't know about it. I don't think I ever knew about it. I knew about MMA, but I didn't even like understand what they did.
Like
I was
the
like, that's
breakdown
like
of
different boxing, you know? I was
Yeah.
like, oh, they're kicking too, and sometimes they're on the ground. But I hardly watched it, so I didn't really know about it.
Yeah.
But whenever you started introducing me to it, like videos that we saw, I was like, oh, that's a lot of fun. But one time you were like, all right, I'm gonna like attack you, and I need to see like what you're capable of doing. And like, I really thought I was doing well. Like I was like, oh, cool, I'm like doing this and that. And like when we finished, you're like, okay, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
You need to learn jiu-jitsu.
And then to be fair, like I didn't know anything either.
Yeah.
Okay, like once I started at the gym, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know shit.
He was just looking out for me. He was just like, okay, you need to be prepared.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just want you to be able to like hold your own if ever need be.
Yeah.
You know, I want you to feel safe being out here in the world.
Yeah.
You know, I just can't.
I do feel a little bit better,
Yeah.
like about, not that I like am capable, but I know that I could help myself a little bit.
And you're gonna get better, and you're gonna be able to help yourself way more. You know.
I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Well, I don't know about that, but
We'll take breaks.
yeah. It's more like shouldn't stop, don't want to stop. Might have to stop here and there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because bodies,
Yeah.
and we're old. These youngins, dude, oh my god, they
I don't
destroy you.
But
Hey, but you've been able to
What?
take on 2 younger opponents already.
I think the first one was maybe not too much younger than me, but definitely younger than me.
Yeah, younger
And then the
enough.
other one was a teenager, I think. I'm not 100%
And she
sure.
wrestles for her high school too. Like that's a big deal. And
Yeah.
you were still able to like do well with her.
That's what they
Very
say.
well, very well.
I think I have to recognize that.
She was being aggressive for sure because that's what she does, you know, and she's
Well, it's
strong.
competition.
I'd imagine, yeah. And
Oh my gosh, so strong.
you
So strong.
you couldn't finish it, which is something to say, right? But
Oh, yeah.
you managed it very well. You were able to stay in not complete control, but enough control, you know, and yeah, it was great. You were able to work from your back really well. Like you did so well that
thank you so
match.
much.
Yeah, it was great.
It was tough. Y'all should go watch it because that's the first time in TNJJ history that we had a draw.
Yeah. So there, you can check them out on YouTube for Thursday Night Jiu-Jitsu. I think we were episode 56 or 57, something like that.
Oh, we should check that out and like add it in sometime.
Yeah, because we've done 2 of them together already, right? Yeah.
You've done 3, right?
Yeah, I've done 3, so I'm 1 and 2. I've lost 2 matches and I've won 1. Yeah.
Nice.
Overtime. That was where I won it.
It still counts.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. I get it. There needs to be time limits.
People have mixed opinions about that.
Oh yeah, But I do like Eddie Bravo's approach to it. He's like, he wanted jiu-jitsu to work better for MMA. You know, that was his whole goal. He was obsessed with MMA and he wanted the jiu-jitsu guys to always win, and that's why he went no gi. You know, he's like, well, why, you know, you don't have to wear a gi in the cage, so let's see what we can get away with there. And you know, he really helped evolve the guard, you know, to be suitable for MMA, so where you don't get, like, you're on your back, but you're not getting pounded either. You know, you can control someone, and then how do we finish it from here too? Like, anytime someone finishes from their back in MMA, that's a big deal. That's a huge deal. It's like, hell yeah, you know.
Yeah, you're literally on the ground. On your back, like, and it's not a great position, but it's totally different. The game's different.
So yeah, I mean, it's something that we both love a lot, and it's hard to really incorporate it into our lives with everything else going on, you know, but we're still trying to make it if we can. Hey, and if any of our coaches watch this, that's why we're not there as often as we should be. Because we got a lot going on.
A lot, but we are, you know, keeping up with, like, studying and watching.
Trying to stay on top of it. But yeah, I guess, I mean, our laundry's been done for, like, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes now.
Well, hopefully the dryers weren't working last time.
That's true, but otherwise, despite that, we still have to stop recording now and go check on it at least. So
thank you for joining us.
Like and subscribe, please. Comment, talk some shit if you want.
Do you like jiu-jitsu? Do you want to know more about jiu-jitsu? Tell us things.
Yeah, what kind of stuff do you guys want to hear? Do you want to hear about relationships? Do you want to hear about more jiu-jitsu? Life in general? I don't know.
I mean, we're going to keep talking about all this stuff anyway, but
it's going to come naturally.
Tell us what you want to know.
I'm really big on like the
questions.
I'm really big on like the religious stuff, you know, atheism. I like to talk about that kind of stuff. Spirituality, I'm all good with it. Philosophy, I love philosophy, you know. And hopefully our guests, you know, they're going to bring a variety of topics to the table. And
for sure.
We'll just, you know, hopefully have some good conversations and get to hear some inspiring stories and relatable stories, you know.
For sure. If you know us and you want to be a guest, reach out. We probably reach out to all of you.
Guys. If you want to come on, like, we would love to have you, you know.
Just to have a little sesh.
If you just want to, like, get your story out there, and hopefully, you know, we tell your friends, tell your families, hey, check me out on this episode, you know, that'd be cool. We just want to, we want to raise ourselves up, and we want to raise everyone else up too, you know, that we feel is worthy. Well, for the most part, we feel everyone is worthy of being heard, you know, to some extent.
Sure.
Unless you're an asshole.
Unless you got some stuff going on that you're going to hurt people, like, let's not do that.
But even if you're an asshole, we might be able to work it in somehow.
We all don't know why you're an asshole. How'd you get this way? So leave a comment, let us know, like, subscribe.
So why are you gay? Just kidding. It's a viral video. Anyways, cool. Thanks, guys. Later.